The fact is, you are already winning. You are already achieving in your life. Now, some people will go, absolutely, I am. I'm blasting it. I'm knocking it out of the park and amazing. Well done. And that's not just happening by chance. We'll talk about that in a moment. But there may be other people who, sorry to tell you, who may think that's absolute nonsense. You might go, nothing's going right. I've got no money. I've got a shit job. I've got no relationship, whatever. But actually, you've got to somehow spin your view on that to a different direction. And what I mean by that is that you are creating your life. Now, people don't like this, and I was guilty of this. You are creating your own outcomes. I know shit happens. Okay, I get it. In everybody's life, shit happens, and in some people's lives, it's a lot worse. However, just to make this point, you have to also then understand is that you may go, well, it's my childhood. It may be my background. It may be where I live. It may be my educational skills. It could be 100 different things of why you are not. You are not achieving the level you want. But here's the thing. I can pretty much guarantee every single person who watches this video and every single person I talk to in audiences across the world and people I talk to, they will say, I can't because of this. I guarantee you within 5-10 minutes, I can go on Google or whatever it is, and I will find somebody who is achieving, who has their same problem. It may be where they came from. It may be their childhood. It may be they can't do this or they can't do that. But I guarantee you somewhere in the world, somebody with the reason you are saying you can't achieve will have the same reason, but will be achieving. There's no difference. So yeah, I know that sounds a bit complex, but it's not. Because where you are right now is where you are putting yourself. Now, for some people, it's easier. I get it. But sometimes doing what I do and speaking, I can't just tell you the happy, clappy, woolly stuff to make everybody feel better. I get really frustrated about manifestation. Manifestation is an amazing, wonderful, powerful tool when used in the right direction. But then I see people talking about manifestation. Manifest a Ferrari and go and sit on your sofa and eat crisps and watch Love Island. That Ferrari ain't coming. Now, you can manifest a Ferrari if that's what's important to you, or a life or whatever, but you've then got to get off the sofa. You've got to go and work. You've got to go and do it. But by manifesting it, you will find the ways, you will find the tools, you'll find the energy, you'll find the reasons to go and do it. So go back to the point of you are already succeeding, but you are succeeding in the way you are already thinking, how your mind is, how your habits are, how your behaviors are. And the success you are currently getting, you may not see as any way successful. You may go, how can you class me successful? I've got no money. I can't pay the rent this month. Okay. Whatever you did last month or the 3 months before or the 6 months before that has created that. You did that. Now, you might have, okay, somebody's going to shout, well, I lost my bloody job. Okay, people lose their jobs. I lost my business. But I didn't just stop. I didn't go, well, I just can't pay the bloody rent then. I had to then, and if I'd have carried on that route, my success would have been failure. If that makes any sense, I would have carried on losing things. But what I had to do was change how I did things. I had to change how I went to work. I had to change how I worked. I had to change how I thought. Because wherever I got to absolute Armageddon. And if I really track back, I could blame people I worked with. I could blame economies. I could blame all these things. No, it was my habits. It was my habits through not dealing with my mind properly, then falling into the alcohol trap, and I see it as an alcohol trap. I don't think anybody's DNA an addict. I think people have addictive tendencies, but I don't think anybody's a DNA addict. But I allowed that to happen, and then I became an alcoholic, and then I took my eye off the ball, and then I took my eye off the focus that was important, and I did things that going to the pub and not ringing people back and not doing what I should have done. Then that created results. Now, me going to the pub didn't make me bust, but the habits of going to the pub and me not doing what was important sent me bust. So that was my success. It wasn't the success I wanted, but my habits and my behaviors and my thinking created a success, created a result, created an outcome. So maybe I should reword it and say, where you are currently creating your own outcomes. But the point is, you are creating those outcomes. And there's some really good news here. If you stop for a moment, and no matter how dark or how hard or how difficult it may feel today, the great news is you can stop and you can go, right, but hang on a minute here. I'm creating these outcomes. That has a massive upside. Why? Because you can create other outcomes. Now, you've got to stop and go, right, why am I doing what am I doing? And why am I carry on doing what I'm doing to get the results I'm getting? Right. Why not go, okay, I take ownership for that. I accept that. I am in that place now. And I know a lot of people will say, well, I can't hold this and I can't control that. I will debate and I will control and I will argue or discuss and make this point over and over again. I think you can. I know shit happens, but what you can do is how you deal with what's happening to you right now. Whatever happened to you last week, yesterday, this morning is a little bit irrelevant right now. Right at this moment, whenever you're watching this, is a bit irrelevant because that's brought you to where you are today. But if that's great, super, carry on doing what you're doing. Carry on that journey. Carry on doing what you're doing. And I guarantee if you are happy and successful and driven and making money, I guarantee you I could be able to sit down. I bet I could write down all the things you're doing. I bet you're disciplined. I bet you're following a routine. I'll pretty much guarantee you'll have some type of health, physical, mental plan in place. You will be comfortable with yourself. You will be talking to yourself in the right way. All those things will be happening. You might not know it, but I guarantee they're happening because every single person who I find, who I work with, who I talk to, who is gaining that happiness, who's gaining that success, and who's gaining that achievement is doing those things. So you are where you are now. So you are getting the success you are getting now. It may not be the success you want, but it may not be the outcomes you want. But the great news is you have created that. You are creating that. Now, you can now, right in this moment, change that direction. You can now change the direction and change the outcomes and change the results of your life right now. Yes, you can. You can go away and you can click off this now and go, okay, fine. And I'll give you a couple of things to do. Go and honestly, seriously, genuinely, from your heart, write down what you really want. Right. You may write, so a lot of people will write down, I just want more money. Okay. How much? How much and why? So how much money do you want and why? Right. So you might write £100 or you might write £1,000,000. Right. There is somebody out there in the next 30 days who's going to make £100. There is somebody out there in the next 30 days who's going to make £1,000,000. They are. Now, making £1,000,000 in 30 days from scratch is probably unlikely and unrealistic. I get that. But you can start the journey. If £1,000,000 is important to you, you can start the journey. But what I ask you is, why would you say £1,000,000? Why do you want £1,000,000? What are you going to do with it? Go and write down what you truly want. Go and write down what you truly want in life. What do you truly want financially? What do you truly want mentally and emotionally? And how do you want to feel? What do you want from your job? What do you want from your home? What do you want from your partner? What do you want from your relationship? Go and write it down. Don't just think about it. If you want to change the outcomes and the results you are getting, you can't just have it as a subconscious thought and just a passing thought. It has to be written down. Go and write it down. Right. Now, pick any one of those subjects that you have written down or you write down and then stop. And this is where the honesty bit comes in. This is where the hard bit comes. This is where you can't just manifest woolly. Right. You might write, I want a better relationship. Okay, fine. Right. Why do you want a better relationship? Do you want to be happy? You want it more engaging? You want to be, I want more money. Okay, super. I want a better job. Great. I get it all. Get it all. Right. What you have to do now is work out why you are getting the results you are getting today. Why at this, whatever time you're watching this, if you are unhappy with the results the outcomes, the results, the success you are getting with something, you have to write down, okay. And if you can't write down why, okay, try and write down one. Don't try and write that. Go and think about what do you do? And you want a better job, right? How hard do you work in your current job? How important are you to your immediate colleagues and your boss? How important? How focused are you? How driven are you? How passionate are you about that job? How good are you in that job? Now, I hear people say to me, it's a shit job. I'll go and be good in a different job. Literally, there's so many examples. And I'm telling you, bad people don't get good jobs. Lazy people don't get good jobs. People who are completely disengaged don't get good jobs. People who have got shit jobs, as you might call it, who do them to their very best, who do them with passion, who do them with desire, who do them with absolute being the best version of themselves, they get the good jobs. Because they create an aura, they create an atmosphere, they create an energy around them that other people notice, and you notice. You do better. And so whatever your result you're getting now is created by you. I'm really sorry, it is. If you are unfit, well, I'll guarantee you you're probably not eating properly and you don't have an exercise regime. Now, there may be a reason. Okay, go and see a doctor and find a way. Because there is ways, because people do. Or start training, or go and see a doctor and start training. Because if you look at why you are where you are right now, you may not like me saying this to you. It is because of you. There is outside influences. I get it. I understand. But nothing what I'm saying is negative. It should all be deemed as absolutely amazingly positive. Why? Because the moment you learn that, the moment you accept that, the moment you deal with that, you then take control. If you want control of your outcomes and success, you can do it through your thinking, through your acknowledgement, through your behaviors. It doesn't just happen. I wanted to build a business. I built a business. That was really important to me. And I did everything I needed to do it. But I built the wrong business, and I built it in the wrong environment, and I built it in the wrong mindset, and it all went wrong. I wanted to get sober. Now, I had a choice. I could call myself I could call myself an addict, and therefore I was going to be an addict for the rest of my life and drink alcohol and kill myself. Simple as that. But I just said, no, I don't want this anymore. So what have I got to do? I've got to stop drinking. Okay, that's not that easy. Well, okay, what I've got to do is start thinking why I drink. Oh, okay, well, I've got to replace drinking with something else. Or I've not got to walk down that street ever again, because that's my key pubs. There is a pub in Leeds. All right, so there is a street in Leeds and a street in London. Two streets, one in Leeds and one in London. And wherever I'm going, I won't walk down them. Often I'm walking past them, but I won't walk down them. And I still won't. 6 years on, and I still won't walk down that street. Why? Because that triggers me. I know full well I wouldn't walk into one of the pubs now, but I could, so I don't go down there. So I took responsibility of not going near that pub. Therefore, I'm not going to drink. And it was all those other things. And I didn't want to be overweight. I didn't want to be unhealthy. I didn't want to struggle getting up the stairs. I didn't want to look at myself in the mirror and go, ooh. Right? So I did something about it. But I didn't go and run 100K on day one. I just started walking, and I started running, and then I ran some more, and then I went to the gym, and I go to the gym more. And I took control and I took responsibility. You can sit and shout at TikTok, YouTube, wherever you see this, and say, he's talking utter rubbish. I don't care if you think that, because I deal with people every day who will fight with me to begin with. They'll challenge me to begin with, but then they'll come back a day later, a week later, a month later, and go, do you know what? You are right on that one thing. I needed to take responsibility. You have to take responsibility for outcomes. If you just look at somebody, there'll be somebody in your circle somewhere where everything goes wrong for them all the time. It's a traffic jam, there's no parking space, their partner, whatever. But they'll never accept responsibility. They're always late. And they're always go, it was because of this, and this. Anybody who's late, I know occasionally we can be late. I get it. Something can happen. But somebody who is constantly late does two things. They don't take responsibility. And number two, really sorry, they don't have any respect for the person they're meeting. And I know people won't like that, but they don't. If there is a time to meet somebody, you meet them. I missed an appointment this morning. Just this morning, I missed an appointment. And I just immediately apologised. I sent them a message straight away. I said, my fault. Completely disorganised. I thought it was next week, and I know it's today. I've missed it. But that was a mistake. And I won't do that. I won't make that mistake with that person again. But I won't be late. And sometimes, but if you're late, you just didn't set off on time. It's as simple as that. Well, and there's all that. You take responsibility. And by taking responsibility, by taking ownership, by being passionate, by being driven, you can start changing the outcomes. So right at the start, I said, you are succeeding already. You are. But the success you're getting isn't what you want, maybe. You can change it immediately. Start looking at new success. Start acting differently. Start choosing how you look at things and do things. You will get different results. It's about responsibility.